Hello and welcome to Back Basics. I'm Kate and I'm going to be leading you through our practice today. Today we're going to focus on gently stretching and strengthening the whole back. We're going to start today with our standing squat. You'll need a block. You can pick up a yoga block at any store on Amazon, which is my favorite store. Or you could even use a thick pillow or a thick blanket or a book. We're going to bring that block or pillow or blanket up in between the thighs as high as it feels comfortable for you. Standing with your feet hip distance apart, we'll ground down through the feet, creating space between each of our 10 toes and rooting back towards the heels. After we press down and we start to feel the muscles hug to the bones of our legs, we're gonna squeeze those upper thighs into our block. That's gonna allow those frontal quad muscles to really hug and engage here, which is what we want for our squat. Then we'll place our hands at our hips, or especially if you have low back pain like I do, or just need a little postural support, you can bring your hands to the low back right above your glutes. Pressing in here will help to neutralize the hips and create space for you to stand tall. Whether your hands are at your hips or at the low back, we'll start with a soft exhale, pulling belly to back, engaging those abs. Full inhale, letting the belly blossom. As you exhale, sink your hips way back, bending your knees in line or behind your ankles into our squat. Inhale, lifting up from the legs. Exhale, sink back. We'll do 3 more here. Inhaling up. Exhale, sinking back. Let's get a side view of that squat now. Inhaling up. As you exhale and sink back, we're really pressing back here. Still pressing the thighs into the block. Knees are in line with my ankles. Inhaling up. Let's do 1 more here, and then we're gonna lift the arms. Exhale, sinking back. Now inhale, lifting up with our arms. If you don't feel comfortable to lift both arms over the head, you could always use a chair and bring one or both hands to the chair to give you extra support. As you exhale, we're gonna sink back with one or both arms. And then inhale all the way up. If you're doing one arm, you can switch your arms as you come up. Inhaling up. Exhale, sinking back, inhaling up. Otherwise, we'll stay with both arms, sinking back, and inhaling up. Let's do 1 more here. Exhale, sinking back. Now we're gonna come up to our toes. So again, you could bring one hand to the chair for support as you lift, or if you really feel stable and wanna challenge that balance, both hands come up. Exhale, we ground the heels, we sweep the arms back, opening our heart. And as you inhale, if you're using one hand, we switch, or both up. Exhale, sinking back. Let's do 3 more here. Inhaling up, tall and strong. Exhale, sinking back. Inhale, lift tall and strong. Exhale, grounding. Now we're gonna inhale all the way up, arms tall, feet rooted, and exhale, bring your arms down to your sides. We'll take that block out. You can rest it to your chair or to the floor. Standing with those feet hip distance, staying rooted into the heels. We now bring our hands to the sides of our thighs. Like kitchen magnets on the fridge, they're gonna stay connected to the legs. We'll inhale and lift both shoulders straight up to the sky like an elevator. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and slowly sink them down into our shoulder roll. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, pressing back, sinking down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale up. Exhale, back and down. 1 more. Inhale up. Exhale, back and down. Take a moment to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Rest and breathe. Feel your inhale coming in joyfully and deeply through the nose, belly expanding. Feel your exhale calmly leaving out your nose or your mouth, belly pulling to back. Joyful inhale. Calm exhale. One more breath. Calm inhale. Joyful exhale. At this time, if you need some water, go ahead and get that. And then widen your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. To be more exact, we're looking for about a half leg distance apart. To find that space, you can extend the arms out to your sides and bend at your elbows. Where your fingers are now pointing is approximately half leg distance apart. My feet are somewhat inside of that frame because if I were to go all the way out, this is a little bit too wide for me to feel balanced and I feel too much of a stretch into the pelvis. I'm going to bring my hands back to my hips. I'm going to start to circle my hips. With my hands at my hips, I'm really aware of the sensations I'm feeling in this spiral. But again, if you need more support for the back, place your hands to the low back into that V position, pressing slightly in and also softly sliding the hands down, lengthening that tailbone as it reaches down towards the mat. This hip circle is probably one of the most effective poses in yoga. This is a pose that is good for everything and everybody. When you're ready, we'll start to circle the other way. If you have low back pain, this is the pose for you. If you have tight hamstrings, this is the pose for you. If you have tight neck and shoulders, this is the pose for you. You can do this pose when you first wake up in the morning. This really will help you have a lot of warmth and space in the core of the body. We'll be ready for a wonderful day. When you're ready, we'll come to stillness. We're going to now make sure that those hands are at the sides of our hips. Our feet can stay nice and wide or they can come in a little bit. I'm going to bring mine in just a little bit as we start to come into our side stretch. We're going to inhale and lift your right arm up to the sky. If possible, that elbow is going to be right alongside your right ear. I'm going to tuck my hair back so you can see my shoulder is quite high. I want to plug that shoulder down. Now, as I exhale, I'm going to reach actively over with my right arm, staying rooted through both feet. Then I'll inhale, bringing my arms up and open to a T. Bringing that right hand to the hip, lifting that left arm up. Exhale, extend over. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, extend and stretch. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, extend and stretch. Now, if you feel a lot of space in your side body, you could change the placement of your hands. I have my hands at my hips so I don't go too far into my side stretch to give me support and stability. But you could take this hand from the hip, slide it down to the thigh. This is going to give you a greater space to stretch into. Inhaling up, exhale, stretching over. Though my favorite way to do side stretch is to keep that support at the hand, but still increase my stretch by pressing my hand into my hip. This really opens the hip. And as I reach over, now I'm getting that stretch all the way from the hip, all the way up through the side body. I can feel that all the way under my arm. Inhaling up, And exhale, press. Let's inhale, now bring those arms open to a T position. I'm actively extending out through my arms, hands, and fingers. I'm relaxing my shoulders down. I can feel my shoulder blades sinking down towards my hips. Deep inhale, lifting your left heel. Exhale and twist to the right. We're pressing that right arm and shoulder back. Gaze may follow the hand or stay more neutral. Listen to your neck. Inhale, unwind, switching heels. Left down, right up, and exhale, twist to the left. Left arm and shoulder opening back. Inhale, unwind, switching heels. Left is up. Exhale, twisting to the right. Let's do one more to the left. Inhale, unwind, right heel up. And exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, relax your arms down to your sides. Hands connected to the sides of the thighs. Inhaling, both shoulders up. Exhaling, back and down. Inhaling up. Exhaling, back and down. One more roll. Inhale up. Exhale, back and down. Now you will need a chair. I'm going to turn to my chair. I'm going to remove my blocks so I have clear space. And I'm going to bring my hands down to the chair seat. With my feet hip distance apart, I sink my hips back, my knees bend. I relax my hands down to the back corners of my chair seat. As I come into my standing table, I'm squaring my ankles underneath my hips. Then we'll place those wrists underneath the shoulders. If this is too much pressure for your wrists, you can slide the hands to the outsides of the chair seat, and this will straighten the wrists, giving a little bit more support there. If you look at my posture, it looks pretty great. However, I am leaning into my wrists, and if you were to look really closely, you could see intense wrinkles that are noting a lot of pressure into my hands. I want to root back. As you see, I'm pressing my hips back, re-rooting into my heels, creating space between each of my 10 toes, reaffirming the foundation of my pose, which is my legs, not my hands. We'll take a deep inhale, looking straight down at the chair seat. Exhale, press down into your hands, feet, and round your shoulders up to sky. Head relaxing. Inhale, bend your knees, tilt your glutes up, and lift your chin to sky. Exhale, straighten the legs, press down and around, stretching the neck, the shoulders, the back. Inhale, bend the knees, lift the glutes and shin, stretch in to the throat, the chest, the belly. Exhale, straighten, press, and round. Inhale, bend, tilt, and lift. Let's do that 2 more times each way. Exhale, straighten, press, and round. Inhale, bend, tilt, and lift. Last time. Exhale, straighten, press, and round. Inhale, bend, tilt, and lift. Exhale, relax your back to a flat, neutral position in our standing table. Inhale and step your feet back 1 foot length. As you exhale, we're going to turn to the left, opening that right side body, looking towards that back right heel. Inhale, unwind, coming back to center. Like an accordion, exhale, twist to the right, looking past the right heel, opening your left side. Inhale, unwind to center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, unwind to center. Exhale, step your feet half a foot length back. If you are tall, like my husband, you're probably going to need to step your feet back a full foot length. But if you are on the petite, fun size, like me, you can just do half a foot length. As you exhale, we're going to sink your hips back, bending your knees into a deep squat. Use your chair to really hold on here for stability. Feel the arms long and strong. Relax your head down in between your arms. And reach forward through the arms, hands, and fingers. This is our standing downward dog modification. If you feel a lot of space in the back of the legs, you could straighten the legs and come into full standing downward dog. I like to start with my knees bent. It helps me to really focus my awareness and my stretch into the back. If you have space in the neck and no cervical issues in the spine, you can slowly nod your head yes as you breathe. And softly shake your head side to side. Starting to work into the neck, even into the tops of the shoulders. With your exhale, we still the head. We take a deep inhale, reading through the hands and feet. And as you exhale, we lift your hips, your head, your heart up. We're going to inhale and walk your hands up the chair to the top of the chair. And as you exhale, we'll step your feet forward. We're going to walk it out by lifting one heel and then the other. Releasing the feet, relaxing the hips, and then bringing the feet down. We'll allow your arms to pause at your sides, close your eyes, and pause, and breathe. As you breathe, feel warmth starting to build heat in the body. With your next inhale, we'll open your eyes. We're going to reach your arms all the way up from the sides, bringing hands together into our prayer position. Exhale, press your hands in as they lower, eventually peeling wrist palms and fingers apart. Inhale, reaching up, feeling the torso tall. Exhale, press and peel, stretching wrists, hands, and fingers. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press and peel. We're going to do one more here. Inhale, lift. And exhale, press and peel. Inhale, bring those arms up, hands together. This time, exhale your hands to your heart center. Inhale, interlace your fingers. And exhale, begin to circle your wrists. Let your breath continue to flow with this spiral. If you have wrist issues, I like to keep the heels of my hands pressing into each other. This supports my spiral and keeps it from being too crazy. Whereas if my hands are open, I'm really bending back into my wrists. Make sure you circle the other way as breath guides. And when you're ready, we're going to exhale and open the arms down to your sides. Inhale, both shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. Let's do two more rolls. Inhale, up. Exhale, back and down. One more roll. Inhale, up. Exhale, back and down. We're now going to come and sit in a chair. You can keep your chair where it is on the mat. I'm going to move my chair so you can still see me. You can sit back in the chair and use the back of the chair to support your low to mid back. You do want the upper mid back to be nice and tall, floating away from the chair. Feet are hip distance apart. Let's take a moment to check in, closing the eyes, breathing and relaxing. Notice how you feel. With your next inhale, we'll open the eyes and lift your chin up to the sky, stretching into your throat. Exhale. Sink your chin down to your chest. Inhale, lift your chin up to sky. Exhale, sink your chin down to your chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. One more. Inhale, lift. Let's hold that lift. Exhale. Let's take 2 more breaths here, stretching with intention into our throat. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, press your bottom teeth forward of your top teeth, stretching into the throat, into the jaw. Inhale, gently swallow, bringing head and mouth in neutral. Exhale, sink your chin to chest. Pause, take a breath. Feel the head heavy, the shoulders soft, as we focus into stretching the back of our neck. Inhale, draw your chin over and up to one shoulder, stretching one side of your neck. Exhale, draw your chin around and up to your other shoulder, stretching the other side. Let's repeat. Inhale, turning one way. Exhale, turning the other way. Inhale, turning one way. Exhale, turn the other way. Continue to sway your chin from shoulder to shoulder. Breath by breath. Gently stretching each side of your neck. If you can remember which way you started stretching, we'll finish stretching to the other shoulder. Then relax your chin down to your chest. Take a breath here. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lift your head up to neutral. Inhale, lift both shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, both shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. One more roll. Inhaling up. Exhaling back and down. We're gonna inhale now and scoot halfway forward on the chair seat. Keep breathing as we set up for our next pose. I have a really great long pillow here. In yoga, we call this a bolster. You may not have a bolster at home, that's totally okay. What you hopefully do have is a blanket or two. So whether you have a couple of blankets or you have a nice long pillow, we're gonna place blankets or pillow in front of the front chair legs of our chair seat. We're gonna turn and we're gonna sit sideways on our chair. I know, we're such rebels. We're gonna make sure our feet are hip distance apart and we're gonna hold on to the back of the chair with both of our hands because we're really gonna get crazy here and we're gonna slide one glute off of the chair. Adjust that foot so your feet are still hip distance, you're still stable, you're still holding on to that chair. We're gonna take this knee and release it back and down to our blankets or to our pillow. We'll uncurl those back toes as we relax our foot. Make sure that glute is fully off the chair. You may need to slide your pillow back, or you may need to slide your pillow forward. You'll know which direction to go because you are seeking a stretch into this quad, into those hip flexors. So you can explore and play with this alignment as you find the perfect stretch for you. What we need to be mindful of is our hips. If you look, which I don't know if you can see, but if you can, if you have really good eyes, you might be able to see that this hip is actually coming forward of this hip over here. So I need to adjust my hips, bringing my hands into C shapes, bringing them around my hips, and turning my hips just a little bit. So how do you know how to turn your hips? How do you know what you need to do in your pose? Easy. Bring your hands to your hips and let your fingers point forward like arrows. My hips were here originally, and if you look at my hands are pointing out to the right. I want my hands to be pointing north. So if I adjust my hips, then my hands are pointing north and my hips are neutral. Now, holding on with one hand, we can relax the bottom hand down, ground through your front foot and your back shin. This is gonna give lift to the torso. Give you extra space to draw the shoulder blades down. Let's take one more breath here. Isn't that a great stretch? We're gonna slide that back knee forward. Whew. We're gonna scoot back onto the chair. Let's walk it out. That's a big stretch. You should be able to feel a difference as you're lifting and lowering your legs. The leg that we stretched feels light, it feels open, it feels like it's floating up to the sky like a cloud. This feels heavy, it feels like it's got weights on it, right? Especially up into the hip. Staying on this side, making sure our feet are hip distance apart. Our knees are squared with our ankles, and if possible, we've got as much of both of our glutes on the chair seat. We're gonna reach one arm up to sky to give us a lot of space, if possible, through our torso. We're gonna take a deep inhale. As we reach up, we then prepare to exhale and draw your shoulder blades down your back like an elevator, lowering to the bottom floor. Then bring that hand to the back of the chair. This is going to create a little twist here. Your back hand is also on the chair. So with both hands at the back of the chair, tall torso, we take a deep inhale. Exhale, slide the back hand back. This opens the chest, stretching into the shoulder. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, slide. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, slide. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, slide. Inhale, unwind. The last one we're gonna hold. Exhale, slide and hold. If you wanna go deeper into your stretch, you could slide the hand down just a little bit, but be mindful. Let's take one more breath here, staying rooted through the feet, lifting up through the sternum. As you exhale, inhale, we're gonna slide that hand back and exhale both arms down. We'll now come back, just facing straight forward so that we can do the other side. So I'm gonna turn to my other side. I'm gonna start seated sideways halfway forward. My feet are hip distance apart, so I have a stable base, ready to move. Both hands are at the back of the chair, increasing that stability. And then I slide one glute off. I'm gonna adjust that foot open so I'm still stable. Then I need my pillow. You may need blankets in front of those chair legs, lowering that knee and shin to the pillow or blankets, and then sliding back. This can be kind of tricky. It's almost like Goldilocks, finding just the right bed, just the right porridge. It's gonna take a moment. That's okay. Take your time to find your pose, to find that stretch through the quad. And remember, you may need to slide forward. Be honest with where your body is at. Wherever you are is where you need to be today. Then let's check our hips. I really have a tendency to tilt to the right. I kind of wish I had a tendency to tilt to the left, because then I could sing the Beyonce song, to the left, to the left. But my hips, if you're seeing, with our hands as arrows, kind of tilting to the right. So again, C-shaped hands coming to the hips. I know where I need to go. I need to turn out. Now I've got that beautiful straight line with my hips. Holding the back hand to the chair, front hand can relax down. And we breathe here. Stay rooted through the front foot and that back shin. This keeps that energy joyful in the legs, so we feel that space to grow confidently tall in the torso, which gives us space to peacefully draw the shoulder blades down. When you're ready to release, we're going to take that back knee up. Oh, a big stretch. We're going to come forward on the chair. Make sure we've got as much of both glutes on the chair seat. We can say sayonara to our pillow, our blankets, our feet are hip distance, our knees are squared with our ankles. We're reaching one arm up. We're gonna take a breath here. Feel this create space through the whole torso. Feel the sternum lifting up. As you exhale, draw your shoulder blades down. Then bring this hand to the back of the chair. Now we have both hands at the back of our chair. Let's take a deep inhale. As you exhale, we slide the back hand back, opening the chest, stretching into the shoulder and shoulder blade. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, slide. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, slide. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, slide. Let's hold here. Take a deep inhale. A full exhale. You could lower the hand a little bit if you want a deeper stretch, but be mindful, especially if you have loose shoulders, loose rotator cuff. Then we'll inhale, unwind. We'll exhale, relax your arms down to your sides. We're gonna turn forward in the chair. Now that we're back forward on the chair, we're gonna need our blocks again. And if you don't have blocks, remember you can use books. You could continue to use blankets. You could just fold a blanket up a little bit more and you're gonna get the same consistency of 2 blocks just by folding 1 blanket. So whatever you have around the house, you can use. You can get creative. It can kind of be fun. We're gonna open those feet wide. What I love about the chair is it gives us a really great ruler, framework to work with when we're doing our poses. We're going to use those front chair legs as a guiding point for where we're placing our heels. You can either place your heels in line with the chair legs. I'm going to go just slightly out because I know my body. I've done this pose before. This is the first time for you. Take your time. Explore the pose. Really play with where the feet are. That's really going to shift the stretch into the inner thighs, which is where we're going. Grounding down through the feet, space between each of our 10 toes. We want to remain tall through the torso. So we're lifting that sternum up. One of my favorite ways to create space in the torso is to bring your hands together in prayer. Take your thumbs and nest them like a little bird in between the collarbones. If you press in and you press up, it really lifts the chest and it actually aligns the whole spine. It's really imperative to have this space in the belly because we don't want to fold at the belly. We want to fold at the hips. If we fold at the belly, we're going to create uncomfortable sensations, maybe even painful sensations here. And we want to stay open and happy in our belly. Let's take a deep inhale. Full space. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Hands coming down to blocks or blanket. Now, if you are looking at me and laughing and saying, Kate, there's no way I can fold that far forward, that's okay. That's the great thing about yoga blocks, is there's different heights. You can play with the height. So you can go low or you could go high. You could even lift this bottom block and really get a lot of space here. And you may already be feeling a really present stretch in the inner thighs, hinging forward only 4 inches. Or you may be laughing at me and saying, Kate, I feel nothing here. If that's the case, you could take the block away. You could come down to 1 block, folding deeper at the hips. You could even come all the way down to the floor. The head can stay in line with the spine. If you need a little extra space for breathing, which I know when I was pregnant, I needed a lot of extra space for breathing. But there may be other cardiovascular issues where you would prefer to keep your head raised. However, if that's not an issue, you could explore relaxing your head down. This is especially wonderful if you have any compression in the cervical spine. This is like getting a little inversion for your neck. This may deepen the feeling of your inner thigh stretch as well. Whether the head is up or down, whether the hands are on blocks or on the floor. Find the right space for your fold today. Let's take 2 more breaths. Now, whether your hands or on blocks or blankets or on the floor, we need to turn your hands around. If you're on blocks, you just have to turn your hands sideways. If your hands are on the floor, you're gonna need to turn them all the way around. The reason being that if we're on the floor, we're walking our hands underneath the chair. If our hands are on the block, we're just sliding that block back underneath the chair. This is to focus our stretch into our low back. This will naturally intensify the stretch through the inner thigh as well. So we're gonna bring those feet in. Now the heels are gonna come to the insides of your front chair legs to soften the inner thigh stretch and focus into the low back stretch. Again, the head could stay in line with your spine looking straight down at the floor, or the head can relax. Do what feels best for you and your breath, and we'll take 2 breaths here. Remember to listen to your body. You may find your heels need to be in line or even to the outside of the chair leg still, but you'll still want to make sure you're stepping it in a little bit. Then we're gonna slide our hands on the block or turn our hands around and walk our hands forward on the mat. We're gonna come all the way forward with our hands, extending out through the arms. Now stretching out from the mid to upper back. Take 2 breaths here. With your next inhale, we're gonna slide that block back in between the feet. Exhale, walk your feet in. Place your hands on the ankles. Walk your hands up the legs, skip over the knees. You don't want to put any pressure on those knees. Walking up to the quads, at the bottom of your exhale, bringing your arms to your sides, closing your eyes. Deep inhale. Slow, peaceful exhale. Bright inhale. Slow, peaceful exhale. So after our fold, we're going to scoot halfway forward on the chair seat. We're going to hinge forward at the hips and we're going to bring our hands up to the back of the chair. I'm going to widen my feet out here so I have a nice stable base for my pose. Gonna take a deep inhale as I lean forward and lift my chin up. I'm stretching my chest into my underarms here. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, walk your hands down. Exhale, lift your heart up. Scoot towards the back of the chair. If you're doing this practice as a standing and seated practice only, if you don't feel comfortable coming down to the floor, this is going to be where we conclude our class. So we're going to take a moment to settle into our chair. You could even bring a blanket or a pillow to the back to make it nice and comfy, or bring a blanket and blocks in front of the feet. Lift the blocks up. Allow the eyes to close, arms rest on the thighs or by your sides. Breathing peacefully, we rest. Calming inhales through the nose. Grounding exhales out the nose or mouth. Calm inhale. Grounding exhale. Keep breathing like this. Gently swallow. Release your top teeth from your bottom teeth. Rest your tongue to the base of your mouth. Relax your jaw. Let go of your body just for a moment. You can continue to sit here and rest for as long as you like if you're concluding your class in the chair. If you'd like to continue with us for that last half of our class where we're going to be sitting and lying on the mat, please stay with us. Slow, peaceful exhale. If lifting up caused any dizziness or lightheaded sensations, bring your thumb and your pointer finger to the bottom of your earlobes and pull down. This sends a message to your brain that you're fine, everything's equal and easy. When you're ready, we're going to open those eyes. We're going to take that block out. And we finally get to stand up. Now, we've been seated for a while. And if you have a lifestyle where you sit for a while, you may find that you're a little achy when you stand up. It might be really slight, like, oh, I just have a little tinge in my low back. Or it might be like how I am at the end of the day, where you try to get up and you can't stand up. So whether it's just a tinge or you can't stand, I'm going to show you some moves to do to really help get your body ready to stand up and walk. First, we want to work with the feet, circling the ankles. Even though we're just circling the ankles, you're actually going to feel this into the whole leg. Let's do the other foot. And this is just a simple truth. Everything in your body is connected to each other. Remember that song that the hip bone's connected to the knee bone? It's true. Then you could stand right up, but if you have a little bit more achiness in the back, you're going to take your hands to the back of your knee, back of your thigh, and you're going to circle that leg. This is really going to create warmth and space up into the hip. Make sure you circle both ways. And then bring that foot down. Let's do the other leg, hands underneath the thigh, lifting the knee, circling, breathing deeply. Let's circle the other way. Then bringing that foot down. Coming from a squat, because technically when you're sitting in a chair, you're in a squat. Hips are back, knees are squared. I'm using my hands to help lift up, and then I'm using the momentum and strength of my legs to come up to a standing position. And then I'm gonna walk it out. Walking in place is really gonna reset the hips and the back. And now you are ready for the rest of your practice, or if you wanna incorporate this into your life, you're ready for that next activity of your day. We're going to bring the chair to the top of the mat. We're going to come to a seated position to our mat from a standing position with our chair. This is a great thing to practice to really help you feel comfortable, to come from a standing position to a seated position. So standing nice and tall, feet hip distance apart. We're going to take one foot and we're going to step back into a lunge, bending one knee. Then, one at a time, we're going to lower your hands down to our chair seat. Then we're going to lower our back knee down. Now, if you're like me and you have sensitive knees, you may want to take a blanket or a soft pillow and put it under that back knee. Uncurl the back toes. We're going to walk this front foot out to the side. This will give me the space I need to bring that knee back. Then you can either sit straight back This is gonna be a lot of pressure on your knees and your quads if you sit straight back into our hero's pose. If that's too much for you, it is for me, you can kind of slide your feet to the side, bring your hands one at a time down to the mat, and walk your hands back to lower yourself to your mat. Then, we'll take our legs out, sliding them forward. We're now going to use a blanket or a pillow as a seat for our glutes. We'll want to move the chair away. Now with the legs extended forward, if you have water, please feel free to take a sip, take a little break. Once you've had that, we'll go ahead and make sure we're on a right position on the blanket. If I sit back on my blanket, I am creating this desire to fold forward and crunch at my belly. So, we want to do the opposite. Our goal here is to create space for the torso, space for the hips. So we want to sit forward. Now, this may not be enough support for you. You may need to stack blankets, pillows. You'll know that you have enough support when you feel right here, when you feel spacious, when you feel like you're not crunching forward. We're going to take a deep inhale, squaring those feet hip distance. And exhale, point your toes. Inhale, flex your feet. Exhale, point your toes. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. We're gonna inhale, circle your ankles one way. Exhale, circle your ankles the other way. Inhale, those feet to stillness, nice and flex. Exhale, reach your arms up, full space, and fold at the hips. Hands can come to thighs, calves, ankles, toes, or you may even be able to reach past your toes. Extend the legs by pressing the heel out. Take a deep inhale, lifting from the sternum, space to breathe. Exhale. And fold. Really nice leg stretch. Let's do that one more time. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Now one at a time we'll inhale and lift our knees. If you need, use your hands to help those knees up. Now we're going to scoot off of our blanket. We're going to slide this blanket back so it is ready for our head in a second. We're gonna shift our hips forward. So we can do two things. First, we can prepare our space. When we lay down, we wanna make sure we have everything that we're gonna need. And you are gonna need either a pillow. Now your pillow doesn't have to be thick and long like mine for this pose. You could use a soft pillow. And if you have a lot of pain in your back, if you have degenerative disc disease, if you have herniated discs, L4, L5, L5S1, you'd probably be happy with a softer pillow, or stenosis, any of these spinal issues. The softer, the better. If you've been practicing yoga, if you've been practicing supported bridge for a while, then you may be able to do something a little bit harder, like a thicker pillow, blankets even, and then the thickest, hardest surface being, I would suggest a foam block. Making sure we've got our props. Then we're gonna scooch those hips forward so we have a nice secure space. As you can see, squaring my ankles now slightly in front of the knees. I'm widening my feet out to the mat, and I'm leaning back into the back of my glutes here. Inhaling our hands to our shins, and exhale, rock and tuck. Inhale, lift, and then lean forward, lifting the chin up. Exhale, rock, and tuck. Inhale, lean forward, lifting up. Exhale, rock, and tuck. Let's do one more. Inhale, lean forward, lift up. Exhale, rock and tuck. Inhale, lift to neutral. Bring your hands to the sides of your hips, and exhale, shift your hips towards your heels. We're gonna lie down now so you can use your hands, use your arms to lower all the way down to your back. Then you can adjust your blanket underneath your head. Make sure that your blocks, your pillows, your blankets are still within reach, right about here, so we can use those in a little bit. Take a moment lying down to breathe and rest. Adjust your blanket if needed to bring comfort and support to the neck and the head. Breathe deeply in through the nose. Slowly out through the mouth or nose. Deep inhale. Gentle, slow exhale. As you breathe mindfully, notice how you feel. With your next inhale, we're going to open your arms out to a T, palms up. Exhale, open your feet wide, off your mat, toes pointing out to each side. Deep inhale, walking your heels back so they're at least in line with your knees. Exhale, sink your knees to the left, gently. Keep your gaze to sky or turn your head to the right if you want to bring a little stretch into the neck as well. Inhale, lift knees and head if turned up to sky. Exhale, sink knees right if turning head, twist it left. Inhale, lift to sky. Exhale, sink and twist. Inhale, lift to sky. Exhale, sink and twist. 3 more times each way. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. Do this last one on your own. Really feeling that beautiful stretch through the pelvis, into the quads. When you're ready, we'll lift your knees, and if head was turning, head as well to sky. Breathe. And rest. Feel the space that you've created in your body. With your next breath, let's walk your feet in hip distance apart. Slide your arms to your sides. And with your exhale, we're gonna hug those knees one at a time up into the chest. Hands are gonna come to your knees. We're gonna take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, we're gonna circle your knees away from each other and then back up together. Really use your hands to guide this movement. Use your arms to support this movement. So the legs are resting, they're relaxed like ragdolls. Our hands and arms are doing the work. This circle can be small and subtle, or the circle can be large and expressive. Listen to your body, to your hips, to your low back, and let this movement fit where you are today. You should feel smooth circles, a comfortable massage into the low back. You might feel stickiness in your circle. You might feel like you're trying to start a car and it keeps stopping on you. If that's the case, slow your circle down and make it smaller. Let's go the other way with your circle. Continuing to breathe deeply and peacefully. On the other hand, if you feel a lot of space, a lot of warmth, this circle can become very expressive. You can even get a little ab work in by really hugging the knees in, really squeezing those abs, almost like you're in a quetch, and then opening out. A lot of space to play in this pose and really fit it to your needs today. When you're ready, we'll bring those knees together, feet together, and we'll breathe our hands to the back of our thighs. Try to go low towards the glutes. And as you exhale, hug in. This will really squeeze into that lower abdomen and help to detoxify your ascending and descending colon in Apanasana. Inhale, knees float up to sky. Exhale, hug and squeeze. Inhale, knees float up to sky. Exhale, hug and squeeze. Inhale, release your feet and your hands to the mat one at a time. Now we're going to stretch into our hips, lifting that right leg up to sky. Foot flexed, heel reaching to the ceiling. We're going to inhale and bend your right knee. Exhale, place your right ankle at the top of your left thigh, right up by the knee. Inhale your left hand right on top of that left hip, right above the thigh, and press down. This will even your right hip with your left hip, so you have a table-like evenness, a nice even table between your hips. That way we're not like a seesaw with one hip low and one hip high. Then we're going to take a C shape with your right hand. We're going to take this C right to the front of our thigh, and then we're going to rotate this thigh open. You may want to rotate several times till you really feel that right hip opening. Let's hold here. Left hand pressing down, right hand rotating our thigh out. And take 2 breaths here. With your next inhale, you can either stay here if you're feeling a good stretch into that right hip. If you'd like to shift the stretch and bring it a little deeper, more into the glute, you can bring your hands to the back of your left thigh by lifting your left foot up into sky. Now both feet are flexed and bringing both hands to the back of your left thigh, sewing that right hand through that space. Deep inhale. Complete exhale. If you feel a lot of space, you could hug those knees in deeper. And if you're hugging in and you're having more of a 45-degree angle into the hips through the back, you're gonna find that your bent right elbow is coming in to the right thigh. Use that elbow to press away gently into the thigh. This is really gonna secure your stretch into your hip and into your glute, which is great if you have any issue with your sciatic nerves. If you have sciatica, this is the stretch for you. Also, if you have low back pain. Breathe into this stretch. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And remember that you could stay here in our first position. Remember to listen to your body. Do what's right for you today. To release, we'll open our arms out to a T. We'll ground your left foot to the mat. Keep your right foot on your left side, and now we're gonna turn to the left so that our right foot can seek the floor. Now you may be turning and find that you stop here and you have all this space from the floor to your foot. That's okay. That's what props are for. So if you have a block or a book, blankets or pillows, you can use those to stack underneath your foot if it doesn't reach the floor, and give you support, meeting your body where it's at. Otherwise, the foot can come all the way to the floor. We have this beautiful stretch now through the outside of the hip, wrapping into the outside of the thigh. You may even feel this in the inside of the thigh. Now you can take your left hand and bring it to the right thigh and lift up. Again, kind of rotating that thigh out to open the right hip. Let's take a couple breaths here. Then the hand can slide to the outside of the thigh and very gently guide the knee down towards the mat. It may go this far. It may be able to come deeply down. Listen to your body as we now shift that stretch again into that glute. Take a couple breaths here. Then let that left hand come to the inside of the thigh. Lift that knee up. Ground through the right foot. Relax your left arm to the floor. And inhale both knees up to sky. You may need to adjust your feet so we're squared. You may need to adjust your blanket if anything shifted in your pose. With your inhale, we'll reach that right leg up to sky. And exhale, both hands to the back of your right thigh. And gently allow those hands to guide the thigh to your chest. Keep your foot flexed. The heel is pressing up to the sky. If you would like a deeper stretch in the leg, let the hands slide up towards the calf. If that's not enough, come to the ankle. And if you want more and can reach, you could come all the way up to your foot. Now, if you can't reach even to the back of your thigh, maybe your thigh is here and that's a big stretch and your arms are here, you could use a towel, a belt, a scarf, a yoga strap to loop around the back of the thigh and support, and that could also slide up to the calf, the ankle, or your foot. Let's take one more breath here. Beautiful stretch. Exhale, relax your hands down, bend your knee, and relax your foot to mat. Arms resting at your sides, close your eyes. Breathe and rest. Renewing inhales, relaxing exhales. Notice the right hip feels open, the right leg feels long and loose. We're now acutely aware of the tension that we were holding in the right hip and leg. We now feel solely in the left hip and leg. Let's create harmony in our body as we complete our practice. Inhale, lift your left leg up to sky. Exhale, flex the foot heel, reaching to ceiling. Inhale, bend your knee, ankle to thigh. Exhale, right hand to right hip, pressing down. Hips even like a table. Inhale, left hand to left thigh in a C. And exhale, rotate that thigh out. Turn it out. Let's take 2 breaths here. Be mindful you're pressing firmly down with that right hand. You can stay here if you're feeling a present and comfortable stretch opening into that left hip. If you would like to deepen this stretch and shift it a little more into the left glute, lift your right foot up flexed. Wrap both hands around the back of your right leg, sewing left hand through that space. Again, you could use a strap here as well if you can't quite reach the leg. And you can stay here, or with your next exhale, you could fold a little deeper at the hips, bringing those knees closer in to the chest. If you're able to get more of a 45-degree angle here through hip to back, you'll be able to press the elbow or forearm of the left hand up in to the left thigh. This will really deepen that stretch, securing it into the glute. Let's take another couple breaths here. With your inhale, we'll unclasp your hands, opening them out. Exhale, ground your right foot down. We're going to inhale and turn to the right. Left foot is going to seek the floor. If you need, grab a block, a blanket, a pillow, and we're going to put it underneath the foot if we need it. If the foot cannot reach the floor, you can play with your pillows, blankets, or blocks and find an appropriate space. Otherwise, the foot comes to the floor. We feel that excellent stretch coming out from the hip, coming out into the thigh. You may even feel this into the glute. Bring your right hand to your left thigh and press up, opening the hip. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale and slide that hand to the outside of the thigh. Exhale, guide the knee towards the floor. You may feel it just softly turn. You may feel it deeply sink. Any space is fine. Whatever feels right for you and gives you space to feel a comfortable stretch. Let's take a couple more breaths. Inhale, slide that hand to the inside of the thigh, lifting the leg, grounding down through the left foot. Exhale, open the right arm. Inhale, lift your knees. Exhale, square your right foot underneath your right knee. Adjust your blanket. Inhale the left leg up to sky. Heel seeking the ceiling. Exhale, both hands to back of thigh, calf, ankle, or sole of foot. Breathe into that stretch at the back of your leg. One more breath. Inhale, slide your hands down, bend your knee. Exhale, relax your foot to the mat, arms to your side. Close your eyes. Breathe and rest. Gentle inhale. Slow exhale out the mouth like you're blowing out a small invisible straw. Full inhale through the nose. Slow exhale out your mouth. Peaceful inhale through the nose. Freeing exhale out the mouth. Peaceful inhale through the nose. Freeing exhale out the mouth. Continue to breathe like this. In through the nose, slowly out that invisible straw. For approximately 10 more breaths. This completes our practice for today. If you would like to take a longer time to rest into your Shavasana pose, please feel free to do so. You can extend the legs out for this pose, Or if you need more support for the low back, you could bring a chair in underneath the calves. And that would look like this. Calves on the chair seat, feet tucked under the chair. And this would give you a lot of support for the low back. If you have time, you can stay with us for our Shavasana. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us today for Back Basics. Namaste and Shalom.